The president went before the nation talking about the administration's approach to fighting the viral blizzard caused by the spread of the Omicron variant. His address sought to strike a balance between concern and reassurance. Joining me on the morning show, Dr. Sunil Joshi, president of the Duval County Medical Society Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce.
So the president offered a plan to increase testing, speed up the vaccination effort, and boost the capacity of hospitals that might be inundated in the coming weeks. At the cornerstone of that effort are the plans to purchase 500 million rapid COVID-19 tests to distribute free to anyone who wants one. Home testing kits. Now, turnaround for lab-based test times is growing and test lines are longer. An effective approach in your mind?
Yeah, I think this has the potential to be very effective because keep in mind, it is challenging for people to find sometimes the testing kits at an over-the-counter pharmacy, or in particular to stand in long lines to be tested. You've seen the lines in New York City and some other places. We deal with cold weather here and we are bothered by it. Imagine up there where it's cold and snowy and icy, waiting outside to get tested just doesn't seem practical. This gives a larger percentage of our population an opportunity to be tested for free, and in particular opens it up to the folks in the lower socioeconomic groups who may not have the time to go to get tested because of their work schedule or the ability to pay for the test.
So the president also said that we as a nation are in a far different place than we were a year ago. But he also said, and it was a fairly stark warning, that for those who don't have the vaccination, that you may not be in a different place.
We are clearly in a different place than we were a year ago at this time. Last year at this time, the vaccine had just been rolled out. We now have over 204 million people fully vaccinated in the United States, about 66% of the eligible population. And so those who are vaccinated and have received the booster are in a much better position than they were a year ago going into the holidays. But he's absolutely right. The unvaccinated folks, the folks who have not yet received the vaccine, including those who aren't eligible to receive the vaccine at this point, are still at risk. This does appear to be a pandemic of the folks who have not been vaccinated. In particular, those are the folks that in larger percentages are requiring hospitalization, severe illness from the virus, which has been the biggest issue from the very beginning.
I also found it interesting the president made a concerted effort to take the politics out of the vaccination drive. He made it a point to say that President Trump publicly talked about getting the booster. Might that register with some who have so far been hesitant?
I certainly hope so, because, putting politics into public health was really never a good idea to begin with. But there's clearly a stark contrast into the folks who are pursuing the vaccine and that small group of people who have yet to pursue it. And maybe by throwing that out there, you got to keep in mind politicians put things in speeches for a reason. And I think he was reaching out to a group of people who may distrust him or distrust his policies to say, look, even the former president has been vaccinated and received the booster as a way to keep himself and his family safe and healthy. And hopefully that'll register with people, even if it is just a small percentage, that'll be a small percentage that gets vaccinated and hopefully boosted as well.
And there's some people who don't think that the Biden plan goes far enough. The home testing kits won't be available till sometime in January. You've got holiday travel going on now. And some scientists said, hey, look, maybe it's time to test people domestically before they travel. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's tricky. I think, we have 66% of our population vaccinated. This is a completely different situation than we were in last year. I think following the mitigation strategies of wearing a mask in airports and airplanes, socially distancing yourself, washing your hands, will hopefully be good enough as we go through the holiday season. But testing every single person who travels doesn't seem as practical here domestically compared to international travel.
So we're at a crucial time with the holidays here. People worry. You're a doctor. You're also a dad. From that standpoint, the president offered his advice. What's yours?
I do. That's a great question. And I think, not panicking is the number one thing. We should not panic. Hopefully your family members are vaccinated. And then in that scenario, just common sense, wearing your mask in indoor arenas, especially in crowded places, washing your hands, staying socially distant, try to enjoy yourself during the holidays with your loved ones, and protect those who are not vaccinated. And in particular, if you're having symptoms, go about the common sense strategies to prevent spreading it to others. This should be a much easier holiday for most of us than it was last year, especially since we're vaccinated, and try to enjoy it without panicking.
So enjoy the holidays, be practical, use common sense, and be smart. Dr. Joshi, as always, appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce.